I'm Chuck Frederick, owner slash administrator. Wait, if you're anything like I was the first 2 years when I got into this business, and then you probably don't even know what an administrator is or what the administrator does. So let's stop and let's talk about what exactly is my role and what you can expect to do as the administrator of your assisted living facility. Check this out. As the administrator of a residential assisted living facility, I can only give you my opinion from the standard of a residential setting because I don't know what they do in a larger facility. They have more moving parts. But in the residential setting, as the administrator, I do everything beside the day-to-day care for the residents. So making sure that we're staying in line with all our regulatory components and up to date with licenses and handling of medication. Making sure that we're discharging or discarding any additional meds that we haven't utilized or that we don't plan on utilizing. Once a resident stops taking a certain medication, it has to be disposed of. Making sure that the residents are getting their medications on a daily by checking their Morris form, which has date and time that they take all of their medications. Speaking with the fire departments when we have to have our annual, speaking with the sprinkler company that comes out every quarter to make sure that we're still receiving our signal and that the fire alarm works and that the generator kicks on in a timely fashion. Being the liaison for the family, the biggest thing that I do throughout the week is just communicating between the family, the nurses, the occupational therapists, any therapy, the pharmacy. They may reach out and say, hey, we just got a new order for this resident and this medication. Just making sure that I'm on top of everything that should be coming in and going out of the facility when it comes to the residents' medication. Communicating with the families about differences that we notice, and you want to make sure that you communicate. That you keep an open line of communication between you and your staff. You don't want them to feel like that they're bringing every little thing to you because you want them to bring every little thing to you. You want them to be able to relay any information that they're noticing or any changes that they're noticing in the facility, in the staff, or in the residents, things that need to be fixed. I coordinate finding, if I'm not doing the work myself, then I'm finding someone on Facebook Marketplace and the community groups that can come in, that's licensed to come and take care of those things for me. So making sure that the standard of the facility is maintained is the most important thing. Number two, maintaining the culture and the climate of the community. You want to make sure that your residents are heard. You want to make sure that they feel that they can vent at times. It may be minor things that they feel are being ignored or that aren't getting done. Like I came in and one of the residents said, hey, the fan has some dust on it. So I didn't have a ladder at the facility at the time. So I had to order a ladder from Amazon and I had to climb up and clean the fans, making sure, because that's minor to me, but to them, it's like, we want this place nice. A clock. We have a smaller clock, but they were like, when we're sitting at a dining table, we don't know what time it is. They want to have a clock over the living room TV. No problem. Next day, order from Amazon, got the clock in. Certain things they say, we prefer not to have rice. We would prefer to have mashed potatoes. No problem. So I'm the person that comes in and, listen to any complaints from the residents or any issues that they may have or things that they feel that could make life easier for them. I try to accommodate those as much as possible to make sure it's a home feel and, they kind of have things how it would be if it were their home. If it were their home, because it is. So you definitely want to take all of those things into consideration. Next thing on the agenda, staff management. Being able to bridge the gap with your employees, making sure that they're in communications. So I currently have a 12 on, 12 off with my staff. So anything that happens in those 12 hours, difference in behavior, medication wasn't taken for whatever reason, the shower wasn't taken for whatever reason, any of those things, the residents that we notice need to be communicated between the staff during that change. And anything significant that they feel like I Like, I want to know if someone didn't take medications. I want to know if someone hasn't showered, because all of those things come into effect, when you start to notice that the place isn't smelling the best, or that the resident may be losing weight, or the behavior's changing. So all of those things we need to know, and we need to communicate to the family. Also, we have a monthly meeting. So once a month, me and my staff, the first Monday of every month, we jump on a Zoom call, or we jump on a three-way call, and we have a conversation about things that we've noticed with the resident, things that we noticed with the family. If anyone's on hospice, the experience that we have with them, any supplies that we need, or any additional things that we would like to get done at the facility to continue to maintain a good standard and a good community. So that's something that I make sure we started doing every month. I also did a end of the year performance review, did some raises where I seen fit, and just kind of letting the staff know what I think about their performance, and where they can grow and where they were excellent, because at the end of the day, we want to continue to progress and, be better versions of ourselves. So a lot of places I'm noticing they just have employees, the staff come in and work, they leave, they work, and it's not really a relationship. And I think my staff, we were starting to build a great relationship. I think they see me as a good leader. So, with that comes a lot of responsibility. So I don't take it for granted. I want to continue to, grind and do the work that they do. Like, I'm not too good to jump in there and sweep, mop, change, do whatever it needs to be done at the facility. And they know that. So we make sure we get everything done as a team. I think that's it. Oh, and just, scheduling. So when it comes to scheduling, you definitely are going to be the one to make sure you're balancing the hours, or making sure the shifts are covered. And, you want to have those people that can step in the event that someone calls off, or you will be the person stepping in to work those shifts. So it could be a vacation coming up or something that you have planned, but if a staff member isn't able to cover their shift, and you only have two people working, you don't have that PRN person or that part-time person that's able to come in, those are going to be your shifts to be covered, because your residents cannot be left alone at all. So that's something you definitely want to keep in mind. Also, you're going to have to learn to be a bookkeeper. You're handling the payroll, you're going to know the numbers, the utilities, the charges, and you want to be able to find a way to increase revenue and, decrease the bottom line, whether that be making sure the lights aren't left on in the bathrooms, or, you know, um, outside lights being left on, foods being waste, cleaning supplies just being overly used. And we've had, a pretty good facility. So you definitely want to make sure that's the number one thing. But you don't want people dumping a gallon of bleach in every bucket of water, So all of those things add up. All of those things have to be taken into consideration when you think about running a business, because if you're not able to be positive, then you won't be able to provide a great quality of care. So making sure the financials are good. I used to do my shopping at Publix, and Publix is way too much money, So I found an alternative for me, my facility, and my family. It's a whole all these family now. I walk in with my blue bags, like, I'm the man in here now, because I'm there like a couple times a week. So that's another way, to another task that has to be done by the administrator, or you're gonna have to hire those things out. So I've even taken my residents to the store with me a couple times. You're like, let's go. Call the family. Hey, mom wants to hang out. She wants to go to the grocery store. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine, but we don't have any additional money. No problem. Whatever she wants, because like I say, we treat your mom how we would treat our mom. So she with me, we good, we hanging, and I enjoy it. She enjoyed it. She picking up her items that she likes to enjoy, and it's a quick time out, just to get out of the facility and get out of the house and, hang out a bit. So definitely financials is a big thing that you're gonna have to manage. So it's a lot of hats that you're going to wear, and you have to be ready to take on all of those responsibilities. Last but not least is your in the community relations. Just I try to do one or two networking events a month, whether it be general networking events or medical field networking events, and just let people know that I'm in the community, because I'm not from Port St. Lucie. I'm about 30, 45 minutes away. But I want to have a face in the community. I want them to know Helping Hands. I want them to know that we're here, we're doing a great job, and we're available if you need us. So just being present, and meeting people, continue to grow the brand in a sense. So that's the number one thing, because if no one knows who you are, no one knows what you do, then you won't have nobody coming in. So definitely had it at the top of the list. I always say the best for last. But there it is. Now you know what the administrator is. You know what the administrator does. So when I say I'm Chuck Frederick, you know what to expect. If you want to get in contact with me, DGT Chuck on all social media platforms. Let me know what other questions you might have. Looking forward. Make sure you subscribe. Watch another video. Peace.